Imagine you are a manager who has to make $1 million decision, but the future is uncertain. Do you play it safe? Do you take the risk? Or do you find a smarter way? Welcome to Chapter 9 of Performance Management, Risk and Uncertainty. By the end of this session, you will know exactly how accountants use research, probabilities, and decision models to reduce uncertainty and make better business choices. Stay with me until the end, because we will also uncover how much information is truly worth paying for. In this lecture, you will learn to suggest research techniques that reduce uncertainty, understand simulation, expected values, and sensitivity analysis, apply decision-making methods such as Maximax, Maximin, and Minimax regret, learn how to draw and interpret decision trees, and calculate the value of both perfect information and imperfect information. Every one of these techniques is examinable, so pay close attention. Let us begin with the difference between risk and uncertainty. Risk means we know the possible outcomes and we can assign probabilities to them. For example, there is a 60% chance of finding oil. Uncertainty means we know the possible outcomes, but we cannot assign probabilities. Imagine drilling at a brand new site with no data at all. The key difference is whether probabilities are available. Where does risk come from? It comes from variability in returns, from whether managers are risk-seeking or risk-averse, and from the balance between upside potential and downside losses. Recognizing the source of risk is the first step in managing it. One way to reduce uncertainty is through research. Research can be focus groups, desk research, or field research. Focus groups are small group discussions. They provide fast qualitative insights and are useful for testing ideas, but the downside is bias and small sample size. Think of them as a quick opinion check, not as hard numbers. Desk research uses existing data such as census reports or competitor reports. It is fast and inexpensive, but the information may be outdated or not specific to your situation. Field research collects new data through surveys or direct observation. It is accurate and specific, but it is also costly and time-consuming. Now let us move to analytical techniques. Sensitivity analysis asks how much a variable needs to change before our decision changes. For example, if outsourcing is only cheaper when the supplier price stays below a certain level, sensitivity analysis shows us that threshold. It is simple and highlights key risks, but it only looks at one variable at a time. Simulation allows us to test multiple scenarios at once. A film company can simulate ticket sales, refreshment sales, and costs to predict profitability. It is powerful, but it depends on assumptions and requires software. Expected value is calculated by multiplying the probability of each outcome by its payoff and then adding them up. For example, if sales could be $1,200 with 60% probability or $800 with 40% probability, the expected value is $1,040. It is objective and useful for repeated decisions, but it does not reflect human attitudes to risk. Payoff tables summarize profits or losses under different demand scenarios. For example, if a salad bar chooses whether to prepare 40 or 70 salads, the table shows how much profit or loss is made under low, medium, or high demand. This connects directly to 3 decision rules. The Maximax rule is for optimists. It means choosing the option with the maximum possible payoff. In our salad example, that would mean producing 70 salads because the highest possible profit is $140. The Maximin rule is for pessimists. It looks at the worst-case outcomes and chooses the option with the best of those. Hey, making 40 salads gives the best minimum payoff of $80 compared to a loss of 70. The Minimax regret rule is about avoiding regret. We create a regret table that shows how much we lose by not choosing the best option. Then we select the option with the lowest maximum regret. This method is useful for managers who want to minimize missed opportunities. Decision trees are diagrams that map out choices and outcomes. Squares represent decision nodes, circles represent chance nodes. The process is to build the tree, assign probabilities, calculate expected values, and then select the highest expected value option. The Duke of York cinema case is a good example. They were uncertain about demand and refreshment sales. By creating a decision tree and calculating expected values, they could identify the best strategy. In the exam, Always label nodes clearly and show calculations step by step. Consider the oil drilling example. If the company drills, there is a 40% chance of success with $30,000 profit and a 60% chance of failure with a $10,000 loss. The expected value works out to $10,000, which is higher than the expected value of doing nothing, which is 0. The rational choice is to drill. Now let us talk about the value of information. Perfect information tells us the future with certainty. Its value is calculated as expected value with information minus expected value without information. In the salad example, perfect information adds $28 a day. That means $28 is the maximum the business should pay for such information. In reality, most forecasts are imperfect. A geologist might be right 80% of the time. If the expected value of imperfect information is $6,698 but the report costs $7,000, then it is not worth paying for. Let us recap. Research reduces uncertainty but never removes it completely. Simulation provides insight but not final decisions. Expected value is useful for repeated decisions but ignores human risk attitudes. Maximax, Maximin, and Minimax regret are applied when probabilities are unknown. Decision trees are excellent for multi-stage problems. And information has value only if its benefit is greater than its cost. Thank you for staying until the end of this session on risk and uncertainty. If this helped you, share it with a fellow student who is also preparing for the exam. Subscribe for more performance management lectures and click like so more students can discover this content. In the next video, we will begin Chapter 10 on budgeting, a topic that is guaranteed to appear in your exam. See you there.